Hey everybody, so my name is Stefania and we're gonna do some Botox at home today. Yes, walk you through step-by-step instruction on how I do Botox at home. This is not an instructional video on how you should do your Botox at home, but even if you go to a clinician in the future, then this will give you so much knowledge about measurements, about placements, about different kinds of Botox that you can carry on forever. All right, let's talk about the different kinds of toxins that they are in the market. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the most obvious one, which is Botox. Botox is something I have never worked with. It's just something that you can get with clinicians. Botox is the most strongest one. It's very potent, and a lot of clinicians now offer as well Korean brands. That's what I work with and I prefer working with. I'm not a person that goes for the whole frozen look where you can't move an eyebrow. Some people are, and that's great, and that's your thing. It just doesn't work for my face. So I love the Korean brands. I'm a big Korean K-beauty fan altogether, so that just goes with it. I have previously worked with Botox. Botox is one of the toxins that is less strong. It's a great beginner toxin, so if someone is at the beginning of their journey, that is definitely the toxin I recommend to go with because it's just weaker. So when you're beginning and inject into a wrong muscle, then that is a very forgiving toxin. And now I have moved up to one of their stronger toxins, and today I work with Nabota. That's the box. Nabota, I have 200 units. You can usually get them in 200 or 100 unit bottles, or even 50 units. Units are basically the measurement of how much is in there. I have previously pre-mixed it. I wished I waited for this video, but I didn't, so I'm just going to talk you through it. And if you have more questions about it, I definitely will make a separate video on how to mix toxins in future. So this is the bottle. I hope it will. This is the bottle. It's already mixed. And it's already mixed, and basically I mix it with saline. There is 200 units in this bottle, so I need to mix it with 5 ml of saline. If it's a 100 unit bottle, it's 2.5 ml of saline. You mix it in. When you receive the bottle, it looks completely empty. There's a tiny dust in there, and it's completely normal. And then when you mix it up, trust me, it's potent. There's one no is shaking your toxin. You don't want to shake it. It kind of just, it's less effective afterwards if you shake it around. So just maybe gently. I don't, honestly, once I put the saline in, it mixes in with it. I don't even have to roll it or anything, but you just want to be gentle with your toxin. And once you're done using it, I freeze it. And before freezing it, when I receive it, I put it in the fridge. So toxin likes to be cold. So we just want to keep it cold at all times. All right, that is that. And now the next topic is measuring your toxin. So you have your toxin all mixed up and ready to go. And now you need to know what is a 1 unit, what is a 2 unit in your syringe. For toxin, I love to use insulin syringes. They're 8 millimeter, 31 gauge, I want to say. 30 gauge. So 30 gauge is the thickness of the needle. The higher the number, the thinner the needle. I'm going to say this again. The higher the number, the thinner the needle. So I think it goes all the way up to 32 gauge, and that is the thinnest needle. 30 gauge is pretty thin. I don't know if it zooms in, but it's a very thin needle, and it's 8 millimeter long, which is like the perfect length for the muscles of your face. So that's why I like working with the insulin syringes. This is a 1 ml. You can get fit a 1 ml of liquids in here. And then I have the 0.5 ml. And these are different measurements, so I will talk about both. So this is 1 ml. There we go. And if you pull back on a syringe and you go to the 10th line, where is the 10? There. This is 4 units of tox. So one line and a little bit is 1 unit. So if you go all the way back here, 4 units of tox to the 20th line, it's 8 units, and then 12 units. And then if you go all the way down, 40 units of tox fit into here. There we go, 40 units of tox right here. And then next we use the 0.5 insulin syringes. That's half size of the 1 ml insulin syringe. So this is the 0.5, and they have a 30 gauge 8 millimeter needle as well, which is perfect for toxin. And when you get to the first line of 5 right here, this is 2 units of toxin. 2 units, and then you go to the 10th line, this is 4 units, and then all the way down is 20 units of toxin. This is smaller, that's why it's half size of toxins as well. So I hope that makes it clear, because you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to put too much or too little. I mean, too little is okay, but you don't want to put too much toxin into you. All right, then now we can move on. All right, yeah, now we'll move on to the next step. And actually, I'm gonna put my hair up for this one. I'm gonna start drawing on my face. And fun fact, I've honestly have used so many face painting pens throughout the years, and for some reason they always stop working, they're annoying, they don't come off. And I always use my daughter's markers and they have never disappointed me. So yeah, so I'm just gonna use my daughter's marker again. Now I'm gonna show you the muscles groups that I'm gonna tox in today. And yeah, so the first one is the frontalis muscle. Kind of goes, so there's a little area here you don't inject, that's not where it goes, and it kind of goes here. Here, this is the frontalis, and then we have this one, kind of goes here, here, and this area too. There's the procerus muscle, and then the orbicularis is the eye muscle, kind of just goes around here. Yeah. Now this one has stopped working for me. Pens are just a disappointment when they go on the face. I don't know, it's just always funny. So with the frontalis muscle, the most important thing is that you draw a 50% line. The 50% is halfway of your forehead. So my 50% line is around here. There you go, that's my 50% line. And the rule is to always stay above or stay on the 50% line, because if you do any injectables below the 50% line, it could drop potentially your eyebrows. So you always want to stay above or on, and the more you do it, the more you get experience of like how low you can go. But like I said, I just like to stay safe with toxins, so I'm kind of just like stay as high as possible, and that works great for me. And then there's the bunny ears. So anything in this area, you draw a line from the outside of your eyebrows up towards your forehead and down, and then here, and then down. These are the bunny ears. The bunny ears will affect your eyebrows. So even if I stay above the 50% line, it could have an effect on my eyebrows. So what I do with that is you kind of mimic the shape of your eyebrows. So I would do one injection here on the 50% line, one higher here, and one lower here. There we go. There we go. And then I do one here and one here. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I stay on my bunny ears, up here, up here. So when I do this, you always want to cut off the line when the lines stop as well, because this is where the frontalis muscle stops. And then you want to make sure it's evenly everywhere dispersed. And this is mimicking your eyebrow shape. So this is the frontalis muscle. Now procerius muscle between your eyebrows. So we should squish your eyebrows. And this is really important that you really feel the muscle, because this is an area where the muscle lays for everyone a little differently. So you just, once you grab it and feel it, you can be secure that that's your muscle. So you press your eyebrows together. I'm looking in the mirror here. And then you can see that this is where my muscle is. I can really feel and pinch it. And I like to pinch it when I inject. So I do one dot between my eyebrows here. Then I grab my muscle and I do one dot here. Grab my muscle, one dot here. Now, being at the procerius muscle, there is one big no-no zone, and that is important to mark out as well. So when you look straight ahead, I look into the mirror, I go with my iris, and I draw a line up. So draw a line up with my iris, make an X mark, and then make a little box around it. And this is the area you don't want to inject, because there is an area right above your iris. When you inject there, it can drop. And you see that this injection point is pretty close to it. So that's why you don't want to inject sideways and mistakenly get there. You always kind of want to inject in a way where you stay far away from it. And as well, another tip, never inject into the markings. That's where you aim to go. If you inject into the markings, you can mistakenly tattoo yourself. So this is my guide of where I want to go. So I would inject a little bit in front of it. Last one is the eye muscle. You want to go, I don't have a measurement here, but you can measure it from the outside of your eye, 1.5 to 2 centimeters out. There we go, right here. And then you go above it on a 25 diagonal. There we go. And below it, 25 diagonal. There we go. That's how it looks like. And then I do one more right underneath the tail of my eyebrow. And that just gives me a little lift of the eyebrow. So I actually have a beauty mark here, and that is exactly like 1.5 centimeters. So it's like perfect. I always use that to measure. And then 25% diagonal, 25% diagonal. And right underneath the tail of my eyebrow. There we go. It looks a bit messy. I honestly, when I do it to myself, I don't paint all over my face. I'm just doing this for you guys right now. So and I hope you can still see the whole thing with all this mess. But it helped me at the beginning. yes, so I definitely, if this is like, if you know, if you do it for the first time, I would definitely mark it up just so you exactly know where you were. So we got all the markings. Now we come to depth, and I just want to quickly talk you through the depth before I actually do the injections. Depth wise, I inject onto not straight in, but like a diagonal, and it's an 8 millimeter needle, so I bury it halfway in, so around 4 millimeter. You will feel once you're in the muscle, it gets a little squishy. It's like a feeling. So halfway in, and here there's nothing you can do wrong. You will be, you know, if you're too superficial, the toxin won't work. If you're too deep, nothing bad will happen because there's not another muscle there. So it's very forgiving, the forehead. So halfway in, 4 millimeter in. Now here, this one is the easiest in sense of knowing you're the right way, because you completely just bury the needle. You pinch the muscle and you bury the whole needle, the whole 8 millimeter needle in. This one is, you have to grab it, and it's again halfway in, so 4 millimeter in on a slight diagonal. And these are super superficial. So what I like to do is I keep the needle on the level of the skin, and you really just want to put the tip of the needle in. And I find it easy because if you're diagonal and try to put the tip of the needle in, it's a bit scary that you get too deep. But if you're really on the level of the skin and you put the tip in, and you can push it against the skin, that you see really you're in. The most tricky part about this area is actually getting the needle in, because the skin is sometimes layered over each other. And when you push in, it just like, it looks like the needle's in, but it's not. So what I do is I push the needle up so it presses against the skin, and I can really see, okay, the needle is in. The amount of time I've wasted toxin because I thought I was in, and I pushed toxin out and it was just trickling down. Not fun. So I think we got the depth covered. We got it all covered so far. Let me see if I forgot anything. This. So why I stay just up here is because this is the most straightforward way of doing toxins, and those muscles all complement each other. Some people just do one area, but then the other area gets stronger, and so I always recommend just doing all 3 areas, and stay above your nose. Anything below your nose, it gets complicated. There's more muscles layering each other. It's if you do wrong, you got a crooked smile, which happened once to me. And that's another point. If you do toxins wrong, you will look funny for a couple of months. This is the risk. There's no risk of anything else if you stay in those areas. So the only risk is that you look funny, and there's ways of fixing it. There's no way of taking it away, like fillers. You can dissolve fillers, you can't dissolve toxin. There's a way of using vibrating tools in that area to flush it out. There's videos on it online. If that ever happens to you, send me a message. I will try to guide you through it. Yeah, but other than that, I think we can just start doing the toxin now, and it's exciting.